Alright, trying to get my act together here. So I'm going to make another video. I don't know how long this is going to be, but it's a very... Good lord. You know what? Screw this. It's a very interesting topic to me, so I'm going to talk about it. It's a topic of, is sacrificing one or allowing harm done to the one okay if it produces so-called good fruit? No, it is not. Let me give you an example of my opinion, some legal advice that, or not advice, but how can I say it? I'm going to be citing some legal things that is not necessarily advice. That's the wrong word. It's just fact. And yeah, let's just start from there. Okay, so and I'm not calling anybody out. This is what I'm thinking about, and it's very, very interesting. So I'm glad it was brought up. And we saw it from somebody who we actually like, their little feed and stuff like that. So no, and I know that was like a Star Trek thing. The good of the many outweighs the good of the one or the few. I don't think that's how we need to look at that. Why sacrifice anybody? First of all, Jesus died for that sacrificial propitiation. And in every case when the few or the one was sacrificed, they made the choice. Otherwise, it's murder. And I'm talking about the ultimate sacrifice where you lose your life or you give up your rights or etc. So here's the thing. I do not agree with it, and I will prosecute anybody who I find that has done this to me. So I have heard rumors, and we're kind of extrapolating and putting pieces together. So let's just say hypothetically, and if I'm proven right, then I'm proven right, that my intellectual property was stolen to fund protecting people from Q. And they go to the moon, right? Or they get shipped off to a country and they're protected there. I never agreed to it. I never would, because it's just creating another turnstile, holding cell, jail cell for these people. And I just wouldn't do it. I just wouldn't do it. And obviously, nobody asked me because nobody would do it. Nobody in their right mind would sacrifice that. And I never got any form of equal restitution. It's like, okay, look, we have this project and we want to save people from Q. We want to steal all of your IP. You can't ever use any of it, but we'll give you this and you can be a secretary or something. I'm like, fuck you. No, how about that? Because obviously I'm living a horrible lifestyle because of this. So I wouldn't expect anybody to agree to it, okay? And I would not want somebody to fund me being sent off to said country, unsaid country, or something like that, okay? This is supposed to be paid for by the taxpayers, you know, witness protection and all of that. That's already supposed to be worked into our system. So no, absolutely not. And I don't care how that sounds, because nobody would say yes. If somebody else wants to do that, go bother them. But no, you picked me to do that. Maybe. I think so. It's leading that way, and other things. But I'm going to get to that one element. So that's wrong. It's a crime, actually. Why? The crime is made because illegal surveillance was used, because people were taking... Guys, my private conversations are also, as is yours, your intellectual property. Well, how does that happen? Because the second somebody records it, which could be video recording it, capturing it, sending it to somebody, it has to be put into some tangible form. The second it is considered intellectual property, even though it was a private conversation. And sometimes our private conversations are about intellectual properties and our ideas that we're doing anyway, so you have a double intellectual property issue, possibly theft. In other words, our private conversations or access to hear our intellectual property. It's a crime. It's a crime. It's an invasion of privacy. No matter what kind of document you think you have signed by me, I have never seen anything like that, and I don't agree to it at all. And I'm sorry if you have a family. I do too. And I didn't do anything wrong. I chose to do the right thing, so you can't justify it by saying, oh, I have a family. Well, I have a family too, and I didn't do anything wrong. and I managed to stay alive and do all these things. So, you know, the sob story doesn't work in that sense. Sorry, but it doesn't. A crime is a crime. Now, I do have the right to show leniency. So instead of spending gazillion years in jail, maybe I'll say, you know what, fork over some money, and that'll cover the sins very adequately. Or maybe if you tried to kill me, you deserve to be put in prison. What kind of scheme and scam is that? That's awful. I'm not trying to go around killing anybody else, and yet all these horrible things were done to me. So maybe, and I'm not saying I do have the right to do so, but if anybody had the right to go around trying to hurt somebody, it would be me. But I'm not hurting anybody. I'm not trying to go around killing anybody. No matter what I say behind the scenes, it's called letting off steam and using a sounding board, and that can't be held against anybody legally, like, at all. So here's the thing. I do have a problem with people hurting other people. I don't care if they have families, because I have one too. What, my family doesn't count? What, me wanting to have another child doesn't count? Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot. You can have the children, but I can't? That's against the law. If you tried to force an abortion on me, meaning I wasn't trying to get rid of my child, and it caused, whatever was done caused me to miscarry, you committed a crime. And I will hold that person responsible. Even if you have a family, even if you have little children. But I have the right and may show leniency. Or I may not. It depends, you know. I have a good, gracious heart. But why should somebody say, I pick you? I'm going to steal everything you've done, even though I'm doing it to save other people. Well, if you had to do it in such an illegal way, to snake around me behind my back and not letting me know, you probably knew it was wrong to do to begin with. Okay? I can think of a lot of ways to keep people safe without causing so much harm to me. And then so much harm was done to me. It's not like a one-time thing. It was consistent and awful and never stopped. And why do all my things that I make get to be raped and pillaged from me? What qualifier was it? I didn't kill anybody. I didn't hurt anybody. If somebody came at me trying to hurt me, of course I'm going to defend myself. So your bad deeds, no matter what the intention was, if you committed a crime, it's a crime. And you hurt me very badly. And now I'm here living in my car so I can stay alive with my son and my dopey husband too. So, no. I mean, well, why can't you do it? You have such a big heart, or use, or whatever, if I'm right? Why don't you donate your money if you have it? I think that would be a great cause, but be honest about it. Say, we want to protect people from Q. Here, donate money to do it. I bet you'd get so many takers, and you wouldn't have to steal from me to fund it. If that exactly is what's happening, and it seems like it is, and the reason that I haven't been, and my son hasn't been rescued is it's because it looks like you guys are going to get nailed with it, and well, maybe you should. I mean, really, what gives you the fucking right to invade my privacy, ruin my life, try to make me only be a secretary, which obviously is not going to even work now. I can't even do it. And then, you know, look at this. I got some really awful hint drops in a fucking fortune cookie, and I kept every single one of them because I thought, maybe this means something, maybe it doesn't. And one of them was basically saying that I was going to enjoy other people's art. You know what? I have them in this. I'm not going to show that yet. I'm going to hold that back, actually. I changed my mind. But we have it. And I thought, what the fuck is this? I don't think so. You know, so that's that Q bullshit thing, trying to plant something in my head to make me think, it's called gaslighting, to make me think that that's all I should do. Meanwhile, everybody else takes my intellectual property and they make all this money and they're lifted up and they're esteemed as such wonderful artists, but I'm pushed down? No fucking way. Understand my words and language. No. And I think I'm seeing other people who I thought were good people who had a part to do with this. No, God damn it. If you feel so strongly about this, which is a great cause, I might donate to it, but I want it to be my choice. I don't want to be leveraged or stolen from. It's a crime, okay? And you know what? That is not a good intention. That's not a good... You cannot convince a single judge or a jury anywhere, unless there were Q people, that this was a good intention. How is it a good intention to ruin my life to save all your homies? And then what do I get when I need to be saved? Oh, I see what I get when I need to be saved. You guys are letting me suffer like this, and I didn't do anything wrong! That is bullshit! We have the video and pictures that show us where a witness, goddammit, on a police report saying there was an attempted murder on my life and my son's life. So no! Do you understand me? I'm gonna sue you for everything! I have lived a shit life because of people like you! If you want leniency, you better help me! And you're not gonna gaslight me either into thinking, oh, I'm wrong. How am I wrong? Invasion of privacy is a crime! Stealing every word I say so I can't even know my words or my likeness is a crime! I have registered trademarks to protect me, and even if they're not registered, they're already established. So back off! Is this why Biden hasn't rescued us? What did he have to do with this? Am I right? It is making wrong upon wrong upon wrong. Why do I deserve to be poisoned? Why do I deserve to have a miscarriage after miscarriage? I don't. I have a very strong body, and thankfully so, because I have been fighting all of these toxins and poisons my whole fucking life. If anybody in my family, God forbid if I find this out, but I'm getting a lot of leaks and a lot of information here. If anybody was conducive to hurting me in this fashion, I'm sorry, but even though you might be blood related in our DNA, you're not family if you've hurt me like this. And it breaks my heart to think that I would have to put any of you in prison for the harm you've caused me, but I'm not gonna go down because of your selfishness. We have the phone call. We have a copy because somebody gave us. God bless you. With my brothers trying to gaslight me into thinking I had something bad in my books. I've already read my books. They're online. Go look. There's nothing bad in them. What, 4 curse words? And they're not even bad. They're PG-13. All it does is say how much I love people, how much I've helped people, and lifted them up. If I just so accidentally tread on Q's toes, tough shit, I didn't know about any of this then. I state what I saw, felt, experienced, and I have documentation to back it up. I'm allowed to speak that. There's no consequence for it either. And if I'm suffering consequences for it, then somebody else did something wrong, but not me. I don't care if you're a president, a police officer, a relative. If you did something wrong to me, it's wrong. If you did something illegal towards me, it's illegal. You should have thought of that before you did this shit to me. I am not gonna fund this evil. I don't want to fund anything evil, because if it can be done to me, and if I actually die, then who's the next poor person that this is gonna be done to? No! I am not gonna stand for this anymore. So God help me, the real God, the real creator, but I think he's gonna show up. And I'm not going down. I didn't do anything wrong. So if you had anything to do with stealing from me, you're in trouble, not me. You should have thought of this before you committed a crime. I didn't tell you to do this. What a cockamamie bullshit idea if I'm right. Oh my God. It's wrong. I keep showing leniency and love and extension of grace. But something tells me the reason we haven't been helped is because you guys had a part in my demise and destruction. And what are you gonna say I did? She dances for free to help people who have cancer. She dances for free for people who have been raped. She gives people jobs, and if she has to, meaning me, I pay people before I get paid. We spend $10,000 to $12,000 on a show. We might get enough back to maybe $2,000. Of which most of it goes to our dancers and workers. Some of our dancers agreed to do it for no pay because they saw I was doing it for no pay. You know how much work I do? I wasn't necessarily trying to do anything for money. I did it because I love people and I love dance and I love the arts. But I'm not gonna be anybody's fucking meal ticket anymore. If you stole from me, you committed a crime. If you helped somebody steal from me, then you have a problem. You want leniency, then you better help me. I don't have to show it. But it looks like the shit is about to hit the fan for everybody who has harmed me. So I really hope that Biden and Harris did not have anything to do with this, because I really like them a lot. Like a lot. I don't see red, blue, not even purple. I don't see Republican, Democrat. I see you for what you put out as your fruit, and that is your deeds. And if you've caused me harm and I love you, it just breaks my heart. But I can't let this happen to me or anybody in the future. It must stop. I'm not tolerating this anymore. Maybe I'm getting upset for no reason and I'm wrong. But the information we are getting is saying that we're right. No more 2 weeks, 2 weeks, 2 weeks, 2 weeks. You guys have done the most deplorable, disgusting things to me and my son. I don't know about my husband because he's done some really bad shit too. And he's been fessing it up a little bit here and a little bit there because he does not want to be held legally liable. He studied the law. I studied more than him. But he studied it. He knows that he could be in deep shit trouble. So what is your part in it? Why would you do that? Nobody asked me, and if you asked me, I would have said, no, this is what you should do. Shouldn't even let Q exist. But why not start a fund where people donate? And everybody knows what it's for. Okay? And everybody who's in that community should be working their fucking asses off to help everybody else. They should be planting, sowing, and cultivating crops. Make them raise their own money for being rescued too. Because the crops that they can make not only feed them, but could be sold and made, money, so it goes back into the system. Don't take from me. Oh my God. You know how hard I've worked? You know how much good I've done, and this is my result of it? You guys are evil. I don't care what team you're on. If you partook in this, you need to do right. You need to rescue us and let us come forward and face the goddamn music if you did something wrong to me, and redeem your own fucking self. Not hope that I die from being poisoned. Is why all of this was done, just to exterminate us and other people like us? You guys are fucking crazy! No! I don't want to be a part of it! I want it put away. Good riddance, because it's evil. And I'm pretty sure that we hit the nail directly on the head, and I'm pretty sure that's the bottom of the barrel. We need to be rescued, And if you stole from me, depending on how much it is, will depend upon how much lenience I give you. If you helped record our private conversations to facilitate this, you're in trouble. I'm sorry. There are good people out there that are actually helping me. And they know the truth and they've been telling me. As much as I don't really want this to be the truth, it's the only thing that makes sense. I am not anybody's slave. And I refuse. And if I love you and like you, I'm sorry, but you cannot do it anymore. It doesn't matter you have big kids, little kids, or anything. I've had a child and I still didn't do wrong. You had an opportunity to not do wrong and you did it anyway. And that is what the law is going to look at. They're not going to say, oh, well, gee, you're trying to help a whole bunch of other people, when I can easily come up with hundreds of ideas to do it a better way without having to do what you did to me. So, really, just a question. Was Obama in charge of this little racket, and who came before him? Because my stuff has been stolen for a long time. We have been going through so much, and I'm like, oh my God. I mean, I could have done so much more with my life to actually help people. And then that's why people kept the cute thing away from me, isn't it? My family and everybody, or most of my family. I have a feeling my mother didn't want to keep this from me for a reason. It's not me being selfish, you do it. It's illegal. I'm not gonna let anybody gaslight me, for fuck's sake. Evil is evil. You see this? I'm having to save our lives by staying in a car, or hopefully we find a hotel here and there. This is why we haven't gotten our money, isn't it? You guys fucking hope that we die by being poisoned and use this fucking COVID thing as the excuse. Oh, I know COVID is real. And I'm not saying don't get inoculated or vaxxed or not wear your masks or anything like that. Somebody has done great wrong to me. And it caused great harm. It ruined my careers. I had to keep changing careers because every time I'd reach a level, I couldn't get any further. It has caused such great harm. And don't you fucking use this goddamn video as a replacement for me bringing this to Congress or me suing people. This is my testimony. You can only listen to it. If you fucking do anything else with it, I'm gonna come after you for it. I have shown so much. I sing, I dance. It's not like I'm not any of these things still. It's not like I still don't have these talents. It's not that I still don't look good, although these people are trying to poison me to make me look bad. You know how all this toxic stuff, it prematurely ages you, and then what is age? So no. Go find yourself some other fucking slave, but it's not gonna be me anymore, you understand? Pieces of shit. All those shit's more valuable than what you are. And I don't know who I'm directing this at. But if you committed a crime against me and you partook in any of this, then I guess it applies to you. And it breaks my heart if I really know you and I like you. But how much more evil does that make you look? You had no goddamned right to take away my human rights at all. None of you did. And everybody's going around saying, and I agree, the black African American, whatever you want to call that group of beautiful people. Yeah, they're fucking beautiful, all right. Everybody is. They've been done wrong too. And it would be really horrible if the hypocrite wore the shoe and they were the very ones saying, don't cause crime to any race, but it's okay to cause it to me? Why? I have no qualifier that says or designates that I should have all this done to me. And you fucking know I haven't committed a crime, and even if I did, then the crime would have already been paid for. There's that. And the fact that I don't have anything on my record shows that nothing was done to me. And if something was done to me, it was done behind the scenes and probably just as illegal. So you can't use that as justification. Oh, what, I had a speeding ticket once when I was 19 coming back home from working at Sunset Magazine after riding back and forward 4 hours a fucking day so I can get enough money raised so I can get an apartment on my own in Los Angeles when I was a young teen, mid-teen, something like that, right? Get the fuck out of here. You see how honorably and how hard I work? I didn't steal anything from somebody so I can make a shortcut to anywhere. No judge is gonna say, oh, it's okay to do what you did. No jury is gonna say that. I wouldn't want this for anybody else. How dare you? If I'm right. If I'm wrong, again, I stand completely corrected. But really, who was the ringleader of this little facet of the Q bullshit? And who did he hook up to get into this shit? Who? And why? I don't know these people from Adam. I didn't hit them up until after this problem just became so unbearable where people were trying to kill me in car accidents, one after the other. And then being poisoned. Just stop. You're just compiling more shit that I'm gonna throw at you in the courtroom. It's over. This Q thing is over, or whatever you want to call it, whatever this hot fucking mess is. I didn't create it. It's been going on long since I was even in here. It's over, okay? You stealing from me, it's over. And I'm gonna get every dime back with interest. And I'm getting credit. And the people who did this to me are gonna be publicly known for doing it to me. You want to save your ass? You want any hope that you even have a future that's not spent forever in prison? Then you better help me. You better start speaking up publicly, not in riddles and rhymes, in truth. Be as brave as we are. I didn't deserve any of this. My son didn't deserve any of this. I don't give a shit if this is what you did to my father and he was down for it. That's him. I'm me. My son is him. Nobody fucking owns me. Do you understand? I don't own you. You own you. I own me. Back off. President Biden, do the right thing. Sir, I really hope that you're not entangled in this. If you are, I don't think your involvement is as great as others, so you're gonna be okay because you can point upwards, if you know what I mean. You can say he did, or she did. I don't want to ever hear anybody ever say that they know what enslavement feels like unless they have been in my position or worse. Just because I was not taken to a concentration camp does not mean I have not suffered like that. Oh sure, I can go anywhere I desire as long as I have the money. And I'm not talking about I made bad choices in my life to do bad things or did bad choices economically or career-wise. No, when I teach dance, I can make up to 50 to 100 to something an hour when I perform. Sometimes I waive my fees because I just love the cause. But I should be making at least $600 a performance. Why not? Other people make twice as much as that, and they don't even have as much work behind them as I do. Some of them are performing other people's songs and choreography, but I do it all, okay? And I accept a small portion of the fee. Why? Because it shows that I'm not greedy. It shows that I really love the arts, but I want to do my own. I don't mind being hired to fulfill somebody else's vision of their artwork either. But if I sign a contract, it doesn't mean that you could steal my private conversations, and if I'm dancing in your show, use our private conversations for that episode. I didn't sign up for that. You guys finagled the contract. I wasn't given writing credit. And then you color time my hair to be a different color, and yet I have a photograph showing the same thing where I was being video recorded. You color timed my hair. I know how to do that. I don't know how to do adjustments and shit like that, but I mean, we are filmmakers. We've gone to labs. We've done color timing sessions. I never had dark hair. Okay? Ever. Ever. It was made to look that way. When I'm away from all of this shit that's being sprayed around me, whether in the environment or in my home, my hair goes back to its natural color. Medium auburn. It was lighter when I got older. I don't know what my natural color is anymore because of this shit. So I did what I could to keep it the way I wanted it and had it when I grew up, and then I enhance it some because that's what I want to do. That's what I've always pretty much done ever since it was changed against my will. But we figured out it's chromium and some other chemicals that do that. I mean, you know how to bleach people's hair white, right? That's what's happening in the environment. That's the facade of aging people. Aging is not getting wrinkly and saggy and white hair. That is all a fucking bullshit lie and an illusion. Aging is just how many times you've revolved around the sun, and aging doesn't mean it's disfiguring. But yet we're getting disfigured just to keep up the lie. I know this because I made and it's embarrassing because nobody wants to look bad, but I showed you in pictures how I looked older and aged because the stuff I was around was making my skin sag and crease, and then I fixed it within an hour. So yeah, I think we found out all the bullshit lies. So too many people know the truth of what I've said, and I feel like today somebody might have tried to kill us because Twitter decided to say you're not going to be able to put your stuff forward right now because they're saying that I've been abusive, and I haven't been. I haven't been abusive at all. Swearing at people on Twitter? Really? Why don't you do that to everybody else's accounts that's done that too? Just saying, why don't you? Oh, what? The rules only apply to me? And that's not even a rule. So I would like to know. I'm the one being abused, I'm the one being hurt, and yet my communication's being obstructed. So I'd like to know why. It's probably because we hit the nail on the head, and it looks like they were going to make an attempt on our lives very severely, and I'd like to know who had anything to do with it. So it's getting to the point now where it's gone way overboard, and we demand that we be helped now. So, you guys have done us wrong, and it's going to stop. We've done a lot of good in the world, and we're going to continue doing good in the world. And I'm going to get paid for doing a lot of good things. You guys do, so why can't I? There's that logic. You can't say my stuff isn't good enough, or there's no interest. Oh really? Then why are people making millions and billions of dollars off my shit? Oh, it's only good when they do it? Fuck you. The money was raised to make all these things good for a reason, wasn't it? Because isn't it true that children are being trafficked to keep the Q wheel turning? I was raped. I kind of know a little bit about this. I just had pieces, but now I'm putting it all together. Isn't that true? It's a question. Isn't it true that the Q bullshit that basically kidnaps children when they go to certain amusement parks, maybe all of them, or malls, right? They're usually people who don't speak the language well. And they think that these poor children were just abducted by, you know, criminals. Well, I guess that's true, but let's look behind it more. Weren't these children abducted so they could be put into slave labor to keep other corporations making the product? So the product can be sold for a receipt at, let's say, $10, and then Q changes the receipts to $100 to show such a great profit, so they can take that profit, right? And that's the money that shows for the children that were sold into slave labor. Oh, here's this child that we just kidnapped. They're 5. Oh, their hands can make all this stuff. It was hinted at in Schindler's List, remember? Remember, he grabs the child's hand and he says, you see these little fingers? I need them inside to polish, right? Inside the chambers. The gun chambers, I think it was. Something like that. And so it was already hinted at. Temple of Doom. All of this, you know, I'm not trying to get anybody in trouble, but I'm not stupid. My book, that series that I've been working on, same thing. You know, I knew, but I didn't know. So I really want to know. I know who I am, but why does other people know more about me than I do? Yeah, I think you're involved in something bad. And I feel like today was going to be the day that Q was going to make their last, ultimate, final attempt to murder me and my son. And I think that might be why the Ruban Rouge page was silenced for the next 12 hours. But it's less time than that now. It's like 6 or 7. You know, is this why we haven't been rescued? Because you guys want us to die? What the fuck is wrong with you? That's sick. I'm not saying it's any one person. I don't know. But I think somebody needs to start talking the truth here. Because I don't deserve to die. The people who are doing these awful things deserve to be brought to justice. You know, I love children and I want to have more. Why can't I? Because somebody thinks that I should be poisoned until I can't? I produce a good crop. I produce good people. Look at my son, he's amazing. There's something very rotten and wrong. I don't want to play this fucking game. We're human beings. There shouldn't be games and teams. We should all be on the same side to help each other. Are you guys that psychotic or what? You go at each other and you just... It's like, how do you justify it? Especially if you have children. Especially! There's no excuse to say, Oh, let's go out and poison people via tailpipe so I can feed my family? I didn't do that. I have done no harm to earn any of the money I have earned. I legitimately gave of myself, my time, and my talents. I put in hours and hours. And I donated, even at my workplaces. It's like, don't worry about it. Don't pay me for this. I love you, you know? So where's the love? You guys preach love, but you don't even know what it is because you can't even walk it yourselves. I'm not perfect by any means. Obviously, I can swear worse than a sailor. But is that really a bad thing? Or is it justified? What harm does it cause? You cannot get away with this any longer. The jig is up. And unfortunately, I have a feeling I know who all is involved because of people around us who really do love us. And I thank you, because at times I thought you were a bad person, but you weren't. So I'm apologizing, and I'll say your name publicly once it's okay to do that, and apologize publicly too. I'm not going to be prideful about that. I want to do that. I look forward to doing that. But if you had any hand in harming me, even if you were family, I really hope not. I don't know for sure, but I really hope not. You cannot justify it by saying you have family, if you do have family, or if you say, I want a nice house, if you do have a nice house. I don't know what the parameters or the specifics would be for you. If you're a friend, family, interchange it with that. It won't work. Actually, you will be held more liable in court because of the familial ties. You're supposed to warn me, not actually be conducive to doing this and justify it saying, oh, but it's helping all these other people. Well, what about me? What about my son? Oh, we don't count? Doesn't work that way, god damn it. We went to Shepherd Church. We looked at all the pillars. On one side of the pillar, it talks about the tribes of Israel, and there are 12. And the other side is a placard. They both have placards, and it talks about the 12 apostles. We took pictures and recorded all of it, and we were studying it and saying, what is it to this exactly? And, you know, Joseph, Old Testament Joseph, was treated, I mean, quite hideously. And my life parallels with a lot of these great heroes of the Bible. And I'm like, does every evil under the sun have to be done to me? No. So what evil is it that's causing me this harm? And before I get off on that, it's like, why would anybody do this to me? And anyway, with the 12 tribes of Israel and the 12 apostles, we've noticed a lot of patterns, and it's really odd. But the ones who just wanted to be left alone and do good, and when their brethren needed help to rise up in a war because wrong was being done to their brethren, those were the ones that were blessed, and those are the ones that their census count went up in numbers. And, you know, with Old Testament Joseph, he was lifted up to be second in command of Egypt, and Egypt was like the thing, the capital of the world almost at the time. And it was a beautiful thing because he did great things and he lived a long, beautiful life, even though he went through something harrowing at the beginning. And his brothers basically left him for dead. I think it was Reuben. Funny, we call our company Reuben. Not Reuben, but Reuben. Reuben actually didn't want his brothers, their brothers, Joseph and Reuben's brothers, to kill Joseph. And they kind of just left him for dead, though. So out of the bunch, maybe Reuben was the most honorable, if you could even say that. And there's more, but I just want to focus on this one element here. Such wrong was done to him, and he was vindicated above and beyond his dreams. And his brothers begged him for mercy because of the wrong that was done. Leaving somebody for dead is pretty close to what y'all are doing to me. Y'all, or whoever y'all are, I don't know. I have some hunches. I'm very disappointed, to say the least. A lot of you I kind of liked. And I'm like, oh, well, I can unlike you. Obviously, what you did to me was not a liking thing. It was hideous. There's no justification for doing it, like, at all. So, this is what I think. And correct me if I'm wrong, but it's starting to look this way. That various people were put around me to keep me from learning about Q for a reason. Because if I learned about it, I would see what was being done to me more clearly and pay more attention. And then looking back, I'm pretty sure that's what it is. And also, who wants to give up their meal ticket? That was everything that I created or am, even as a person and my personality, how I'm delivering even my videos is being stolen from me. It's sick. It's a pillaging. I mean, it's a human rights violation, which is, I wouldn't want to be you if you had any part in this. That's huge. And it's very well established. So, if you cause these harms to me, there's no justification for it. If you wanted to do good for somebody else, this is not the way to do it, by harming me. And it's not just a little one-time thing. It's huge. I didn't deserve this. We have evidence of all of this, and I hope that even some people that may have committed this infraction or infractions against me will say, you know what? I don't want to spend the rest of my life in jail. I don't want everything taken away from me. I'm going to help this beautiful gal out because she has a good heart, even though she swears like a sailor. But you know what? Swearing and then committing all these crimes against humanity, me, kind of outweighs her swearing. Really, she's done nothing wrong, and her son's done nothing wrong. So how about this? That you help me and fess up, and you will be shown leniency. How about that? That has a better end for you. And it sounds pretty. And then you can be at my party, okay? As a free person, not in jail. How's that? Oh, you're gonna have to give me a lot of money. You're gonna have to help me out a lot, even after all of this. And you can never again do anything because you're going to be watched by a lot of good people who love me and want me to, like, fucking win hard. That's why this 2 weeks thing never came, because you guys are part of the guilty party. Isn't that correct? So, it's time that you rescue us. Not rescue us and put us in fucking Afghanistan or some other location. I don't want that. I don't want to die or be kidnapped, even if it's fake or faked. I don't... I want to continue being me. And I do have my royal and noble lineage. And I'll restore it on my own if I have to. It was already mine. If you want to help and look like a hero, that's what I strongly suggest you do. Because all this other shit's not going to work for you. The pattern has made itself overbearingly known, and you can't mathematically prove all of this coincidence happening to one gal. And I'm not doing anything to make it happen. I'm trying to stop it. So there's that. So I think you guys are in big trouble, and I think that's why you didn't want me to live. and it's evil. Even though all the evil you've done to me, even with all of that, and I'm saying that you don't even deserve death. You deserve to be put in prison for life, however long you live, probably. Or you can help me and get leniency and pay me fair restitution, which I get to say what it is. And you know I'm fucking fair. And what is that saying about you? You all who had a part in this. What does that say about you? You picked on a good person who was just maybe even naively just being wonderful and loving. And this whole Q thing. You know, what if Billy Graham really is dead? What if he... I don't know. That seems to be what you guys are hinting at. What if that's not even the thing anymore, but maybe it was? I don't know. I don't know. And maybe it's just a small group of people who are just trying to cover their asses because of the evil they did to me, conjuring up all this shit in these stories. Yeah, that could be it. And maybe a lot of these bad guys aren't even close to bad guys, but they're extremely good guys. But they're making themselves look like bad guys for a reason. I find all this very interesting. I didn't deserve this, and I'm undoing it, and I'm taking back that which was stolen from me, and in trust. I trust you. So the joke is on you all. You were playing me, and that's gonna have to be settled up in court too. I'm pretty sure we pegged everybody right. I don't know why you guys would pick on me like this, but I'm not gonna just let you guys siphon my art off of me, steal it, actually is the right word, and then use it for evil. I think it's evil to keep people trapped over there. They're in no man's land. Alive but not. And they need to be free just as much as I do. And some of you, and I might too, have some loved ones there. And I really don't want anything to happen to them, but not at my expense. I've already lost so much. I'm not laying my life down for anybody. But why should I? My son ain't laying his life down either. You lay your life down. You have such a strong connection and cause to it. I just found all this shit out if what I'm perceiving is correct. I ain't married to it. I could take it or leave it. I don't give two shits. But we're pretty sure that we're right because we got a lot of confirmation and a lot of good intelligence. Gee, how are we getting this? You know, stringing us along to think, oh, my family's there to help. Well, you sure my family wasn't the ones that were hurting us and facilitating all of this? If their lives are ruined because we found them out, then good. Because they weren't doing good, they were doing bad. Obviously, what they did to me was extremely illegal. Hold on. Here. Okay. So, yeah, I'm just really concerned about this stuff. I mean, really, what? I'm being watched, followed, stalked, poisoned by so many people. And I'm like, and we have it on video. What isn't anybody getting in their heads here? The thing is, you're not stupid. You are getting it. People are hiding because they know that they've been caught and they partook in this. So here's the thing. Family members, I legitimately loved you. I didn't do this shit to you. I didn't sell you out. I'm not saying you did, but it's looking kind of suspicious. And the fact that you wanted me so much to lose my money. We were given a copy of something, and I'm like, oh my God. Why? You could have helped us, and instead you just let us out to pasture and, like, you know, don't matter if you die. And then I said that I helped out everybody, even in my need when I didn't have money. And I said, you know what, fuck it. That's what family does. That's what friends do. When the going gets tough, the tough get tougher. And I invited you into my home. I didn't care. I invited you to be able to use our home for somebody else. That ain't no guilt trip. That is a documented fact. And I loved doing it. Pain in the ass? Sure, but family is a pain in the ass. I'm a pain in the ass sometimes. It goes with the territory. When you love somebody, you accept the fact that they're pains in the asses in their own ways, and you just get through it, okay? And somebody said, oh, nice guilt trip. That's not a guilt trip. That's me saying, wait a minute, I helped you all this time, but you won't help me? And then my son's like saying, he was saying that he was promised, my father paid for my education he said, I'll pay up to your bachelor's degree and the rest is you're on your own. I said, cool, good deal. And I did it. And then all the other education that I got in various fields too, degrees, certifications, I paid for myself. I didn't bother my pop about it. I said, no, he made a deal. I accepted it. He made the same deal with my son. Where's that money? We didn't spend it because we didn't even have it in our possession to begin with. You know, taking 5 classes at a community college doesn't even get you an associate's degree. But that's all that was paid for, and we paid for the rest. And since he was having trouble with his classes, I thought, let's do a remedial thing ourselves. Let's do dance and physical activity classes until we get his coordination and his brain really working well. And it worked perfectly. Dance is a healer. Physical working out, you know, pumping iron is so good for your body. And so we did that, and he was going to go back and take more actual education classes and not, you know, physical education classes, but things towards degrees. And a lot of bad shit happened where it never happened. And I was like, wait a second. Is that why they made the... Never mind, I'm not going to go into that now. We'll find out later. But, you know, we have been done wrong. And I'm like, we noticed. You don't steal from somebody to help somebody out and say, see, justified because I just did a good deed. Well, it's a crime, number one, and number two, we suffered greatly. Not just once or twice. I don't know what you guys were thinking, and I'm sorry if you were thinking wrong. But I know you guys have this hesitancy with the Bible, because I kind of am thinking that too, because if this whole thing that you're saying with Billy Graham is true, which I don't know, I'm not married to it. You guys could have just made all this shit up just to redirect focus. Could be, or we could be 100% right. That's your bullshit that you have to iron out, not ours, okay? I have nothing to do with that. And I don't give 2 shits about it still. So here's the thing. Why should we have to pay a price? We did no wrong. That makes you, if you're involved in this, all the more guilty. So if you're a friend or family member, wow. You can never be trusted again, obviously. You know, don't cry to me about your life being ruined. Oh well, you did it to yourself. I didn't make bad decisions. Now, like I was saying, I followed what the Bible said because I believed it was true. Do I think that women should be treated as substandard to the husband? No. And I actually have that recorded someplace because on the day of my wedding, I said, why don't you mention my fucking name? I was becoming Mr. and Mrs. Christopher Kale. I was like, that's not my name. Mrs. is my name? That's where I fit in? No, how about Noel? How about Mr. and Mrs. Christopher and Noel Kale? No, we can't say that. Okay, why not? You know, in a lot of the Latin cultures, the men takes the women, the female name when they get married. I like that. Or why don't both take each other's names? You know what I'm saying? Instead, no, in this country, you're subservient. And I don't like some of that shit in the Bible like that. Because Jesus didn't say you're under. He came along to say we're equal. So here's where you guys might get a little weird with this Bible shit. Just because there was one bad apple, or maybe many even at this point, that decided this is what the Bible says, does not mean that they were right, and it doesn't mean that the good stuff in the Bible is wrong. I actually followed the good stuff in the Bible, and mostly the Old Testament, and you know, Jesus was quoting mostly the Old Testament. Jewish, hello. So if you follow those things and those guidelines, you can pretty much keep your nose out of shit. And so I did that. I didn't create false testimony or witness against people, my neighbors, family. I helped out when I could. I didn't lie. I didn't steal. I wasn't trying to harm anybody. I was always trying to help. I need a place to stay. Oh my God, we have room. 4 bedrooms, we're using 2. Go ahead, you know. Pay your way, maybe help pay for our utilities or a little bit of rent, something. Let's do an exchange here that works out for both of us. And I did that a few times with a lot of people. You know, I did. I didn't regret it, but if I use that as an example to say, wait a minute, I helped you out here, that's not laying a guilt trip. That's actually saying, like if you go in a court of law, they're not going to say, stop laying on a guilt trip. They're going to say, well, did you help out? What is your evidence? So that's what I was presenting. So I had a family member try to lay a guilt trip on me about laying out my evidence. And how can I lay out my evidence unless I lay out my evidence and saying, but I did this? It's not a guilt trip. If somebody feels guilty about wrongdoing or taking advantage of me or not helping when they know they should, that's their problem. You can't put that on me. So I stand by my words. I yelled at that person over the phone saying, you've got some things in your books now that are wrong, right?
Yeah.
That were wrong? What? Exactly. They've been read online. There's nothing wrong with anything I've said. I put everybody I mentioned in a good fucking light. If there's something in there that I don't know about, I can't be held responsible for that because I know what I published and I know the copy that I have. I know what I read, so I don't know what it is. If there's something by accident and we overlooked, that's all it is. There's no drama. Or maybe somebody accessed our computers and put something in a document that we don't know about. Or maybe Amazon, we uploaded it through CreateSpace. And funny thing that we haven't gotten a call back. And we have those calls recorded, our end, to prove it, and the call logged. And we also put it up on Twitter so you guys would see it. And we also wrote a report about it. So we don't know why they haven't called back. But what if somebody took an older manuscript that was never meant to be published and put that one in instead because they accessed our laptops? It's easy to do. I can't do it, but one of my siblings knows how to do it and did it with my aunt's computer. Just in case it breaks, here, give us remote access and I'll fix it for you. That way you don't have to drive the computer down. I don't have to drive down to Vegas. That's that. So I know it can be done. I never gave permission for anybody to do that to mine. So, you know, Amazon actually is the one who distributes it. So maybe somebody switched out our copies. And the public receives one version, and when we order, we receive the actual version that we intended to publish. It could be that way. I don't want to falsely accuse anybody, but how the fuck do you expect us to figure this out? And Amazon and nobody's getting back to us, so maybe it's best that everything is left this way, so in case there's some funny business, it's very easily proven. Okay, there's that. And no, we are not going to go out and get our passports. And no, we don't have to have our passports to go to the White House because this is extenuating circumstances. And we can also do a press conference in a place where we don't need to have our passports. There's that too. Move the fucking podium and the presidential seal and the columns and the flags and put them elsewhere. I worked as a stagehand. It shouldn't take more than 15 minutes. So that ain't happening, okay? We don't have the time, we don't have the money. We are taking care of ourselves.
Oh, good. Power strip's not.
Okay.
It's recording.
So, you know, and someone's messing around with our car and the power to our car, probably because they're siphoning from it, because they're tuning in wanting to hear this, but we're putting this up online, so, you know, whatever. That's enough. Why are all these people doing this to us? There's no legitimacy in it. Leave us the fuck alone already. But, you know, it's too late because we are suing. We gave everybody ample time. There is no goddamn reason why we can't be helped. There is none. And before this went out of control, you guys should have helped us. That's your failing, not mine. So you create this world of isolation for me, right? Where I can't even get the attorneys I want because you're using Google to feed me only the ones you guys want me to go to. And then it winds up as a catastrophe. So that's the problem. That's not freedom. That's not marketing. Really, if it was really marketing, why don't you let me see all the search results? And not just your people, okay? So that's the problem too. You know, when you have brothers who are telling you, or siblings or family members trying to blame me for this mess, it's like, well, I can break down your argument in so many different ways. I didn't do anything wrong. Number one, I made good decisions in my life. I've always made good decisions. It's been these awful people. So maybe that's telling me that maybe my family does know something about what's being done to me, and maybe they're happy because maybe them benefiting from my pain and suffering, they're happy. Maybe that's how they got their job. Well, it fits the pattern. I don't know. I don't want to falsely accuse, but a lot of people who've danced for us, not all of them, but I should say some, and they played a trick on us or hurt us in some way or sabotaged our shows in some way, they were given a prize. And I could name each person and each prize that they got. And I'm like, wow. So people are using me as an easy level up? Well, let me just put that to an end because I'm complaining about each and every single person who did this. And they need to be investigated. And their lead to whatever goodie they got needs to be investigated. And all you gotta do is just backtrack it. It's not invisible. This is not an invisible enemy like everyone's trying to make us think. No, their seams are ripping apart. It manifests as them tenting, supposedly, a termite-infested house. Why? Because they're probably setting up a termite story, hoping that our building will be infested with termites. But we have video and pictures, old and recent, to show structures sound. Not gonna fly, okay? We think that much ahead. Because we don't trust anybody. I won. I won the fucking game. I broke the game. I don't play the game. All this. Being suspicious of everybody. That's what you gotta do. That's how you win. So, yeah, you can't justify it by saying, I have family. But look, don't you want them to do well? You don't want to endanger them. But why would you endanger me? You've known me longer. They didn't exist. There's no happy medium in between there. No. How about you don't do something illegal to me, and then you're fine? How about you earn an honest living? What? Q won't let you? Well, Q won't let me either, and yet I'm not doing anything wrong to anybody. Yeah, my life is hell, but that's because we have people doing illegal stuff to us. If everybody would stand up and not do illegal shit to us, then maybe nobody would have to do things they don't like doing. You can't justify it. You have a family. What about mine? We don't count? I'm not human? My human rights were violated, so that's another crime you all have to worry about. If we end up dead, all the corporations, the Q members, government, everyone will be decimated after our demise. You know how that works? Watch Titus. You don't want to watch the movie, which was very well done in several different ways? Read it. You don't want to read it? Listen to it on books on record or audio, right? Don't be lazy. The Bible says, he who lives by the sword dies by the sword. So don't pick up the fucking sword. Us taking you to court is putting our swords where they should be. Kinda up your asses too, but that ain't fighting by the sword. That is how you seek restitution. That is exactly how Moses set this up. And it's just, and it's good. And only the toughest cases went to him. That is smart. You people. And you know what? I don't think my father would be much impressed. My father, if what I'm saying is true and he knows about this, I don't think he partook in it. I think he will be so disgusted if any family member does anything like this, or did to us, which, yeah, disgusted is to say the least. He would probably disown, like legitimately. And you know, if there really is a crown, who really would deserve it? Probably only me. Based on, I didn't fuck anybody over. Me taking you to court's not fucking you over or betraying trust because you did something wrong to me. Legally, it needs to be resolved. So I want to know who did what to me. I'm already hurt. It ain't gonna hurt me anymore, and it's not gonna surprise me. And you guys are already kind of leaking it anyway. So really, I just don't know why you felt that so compelled that you had to do something wrong. I live in the same fucking world, and I didn't choose badly. So watch your fucking mouths. We have things written to us saying that we chose badly. What? And that I'm blaming everybody else? Well, I didn't steal from me, number one, so I can't blame myself. Number two, I didn't lead us down this bunny trail. And we stopped it at every single corner that we could. So, yeah. I blame myself for marrying my husband. That I will take blame for. I don't like the man very much. And if you guys are eavesdropping on our conversations, you know why. He has issues. He's gotten himself into legal trouble. He's done some very bad things. And that's him, not me. Don't lump me in with that. I do not approve of it, and I'm really getting fucking tired of his goddamn ass. So maybe he can vindicate and redeem himself. We'll see. We'll see which side of this issue he falls on. I don't have hope for anybody at this point. So our suffering was led to more suffering because of what now? Because we caught you. Because you felt guilty about doing wrong to me and my son. And you justified it because, oh, we're helping other people. What do you justify with when you kidnap people? Not me, and I'm not pointing my finger at anybody, but somebody did it. Kidnapping little children to make products in other countries. They're ripped from their homes, and that is their value. They are slaves, god damn it. And I stand up against that. So maybe only they understand where I'm coming from. And then what? When they reach a certain age, you put them out into the world and they're the next level slaves? Are these the ones that you raise to poison people and stalk people? Is that how this awful thing keeps turning? It needs to stop. Is that what my IP is also funding too? I don't agree with this. No. I can't be held liable for it because I just learned about this shit. It's appalling. I don't make a fortune on, I've done production, you know, where you make an item by hand. You don't turn around a big profit unless you charge a lot. And you put in a lot of work. I used to sew pillows and, you know, beautiful things, home decor. And they were beautiful items, and they still are beautiful items. I didn't ship it off to another country to have these poor children make sweatshops, right? I'm also hearing that they're also sex slaves. Well, I was made one in this country. I was a baby, really, in comparison. So that person can vouch and say, oh, well, that's just how the Q game is played, and that's how they were able to make a good living. So in other words, if you want to make a good living, you actually have to hurt people and do crimes. And in this case, because I'm such a nice person, a lot of people use me. Hey, she's an easy level up, so go with her. Is that what this is? You steal a little from me and it shows your allegiance to the Q group or whatever the fuck this is? And oh, okay, they're treating her badly. And then if you sabotage my show, you get a level up too? You despicable human being if you're doing that. And I'm gonna make sure you pay for it. So let's just say that this crazy ass preacher is in charge of all this. Let's just say that. Or somebody. And they pulled the kill switch in a sense because they're so like, oh my god, the world has gotten so depraved and so disgusting. You know, the old Sodom and Gomorrah thing. For the sake of 10 people, will you spare the cities? For the sake of one person, one good person, Lord. Is this person having this, what do you call it, self-deprecation, or, you know, where you have self-loathing that they can't even forgive them own selves? So instead of seeking the true creator, and if Jesus is it, some forgiveness in some good, wholesome form. So this is what it looks like? Destroy everybody? What the hell? The whole world is being fumigated right now. We're not bugs. We're sentient, supposedly, and supposed to be loving creations of our Creator. And this is how you're going to honor Him in humanity. How about you don't let this evil shit get away with more evil shit and be brave, and if you did something wrong, help stop it, because that's gonna save your ass for a worse sentence. I know the law, I know how it works. And then we can make a deal. If I sent you a letter, that was a love letter. That C&D was actually a love letter, not saying I love you and I love what you're doing to me. It's showing grace and graciousness and forgiveness. An opportunity to not be stupider upon being stupid. I have none of this memorized or scripted. I'm just a good person. Level-headed, well-balanced, wanting good in the world. And if you fall short from that, that's your fault, not mine, and I'm not going to make myself a lesser person or a mediocre person because you feel inferior when you match yourself up to me. Oh well, too fucking bad. You had the same tools in front of you to make the same choices I did. Except my circumstances were probably and most likely worse than yours, and still I rose up to the occasion and decided to be a good person. It's not to say I wasn't tempted. You hear me behind the scenes. I'm like, fuck you, fuck this person, I'm done. You know? And sometimes I put it out there online too. That's called being human. Being human is wrestling with it, but winning over it. Not giving in to sin or doing evil. You wrestle with it, it's ugly, it's a hot mess, but then in the end, before you put anything out there into the universe, you do and choose the right thing to do, and that is why we differ. You had a choice and an opportunity, and more opportunity than I ever had. And yet I was still able, and my son was still able to make the right decisions. There is no excuse at all. If you fucked up, you fucked up. Having children or not is not an element that factors in to your guilt. I wanted a good life for my son. I didn't choose to do wrong. I chose to work harder in spite and despite this Q whatever thing that it is, or maybe it's not even that. Maybe there's just a straggling amount of evil men who are just trying to hold a candle to it, thinking that they can make something better. You can't. You're human. The best we all can do is follow the law and not have an asking price. And put people around us that won't let us have an asking price. We all fall short of holiness and perfection. Embrace it. That's where we all are, whether you like it or not. I'm no different from you, except that I did make the right choices. No matter what anybody tries to gaslight me by telling me, writing to me, hinting to me, signaling, I did no wrong. Period. So if you have a family, you better do what's right for you and your family from this point on, and confess and help. Because other than that, God help you, if there is a real God, He will not give you leniency. I may. The sin of the Amorites have not met its full measure. Is that why things are so bad? Is that showing us all how bad humanity is? If Noah's Ark was correct, Jesus Christ, He fucking wiped out everybody except for a small handful of people. If that's correct. And I don't want that again. Because good people have to go through that again. No, let's not do that. Before that happens, let's stop. Because if my Jesus is the true real deity, my real Jesus and true deity is going to save me and my son and anybody else that is like us. I know that for a fact. And even if you don't call on him as savior, he still knows your heart to be good, and he will probably protect you too, because that's how he rolls. He's kind of cool. Is everything okay?
Yeah.
Is it working yet?
No. Well, it looks like it is definitely the power strip because everything else works fine.
Let's just get a new one.
Well, we have a new one. It's
Oh.
just up there. I'll switch it out.
I think you hit the downhill assist button.
What's the downhill assist?
It's one of those 3 buttons
Uh,
on the console. There you go.
that fixed it.
So, you know, guys, we come forward for help, and then all of a sudden we're poisoned. That was the solution? Oh, and so it doesn't make it look like we were singled out. Let's release this whole fucking thing. How far did my intellectual property go? Does it involve China, God forbid? I don't know. I don't want to falsely accuse. Really, I am not going to stand for this. I'm not going to let you kill me and my son because you did something wrong to us. My grandmother used to say, and I repeat it proudly, what did the murderer say to its victim? You know, as it's looking down at its lifeless body. Get out of here, you're making me look bad. Really? So the victim's dead, and you're blaming the victim for a crime that you actually committed, and then you want them to get up out of their death's bed and walk away so you don't look bad? Fuck you. Just fuck you hard. If you are that, then fuck you. And you're gonna get fucked by us hard. And it's actually not fucked, is it? If you look at it, it's called vindication and justice. I know there are good people, very good people, who are sick to death of this bullshit, and they know what we have suffered, and they are gonna rise up, and they are gonna help us annihilate these fucking pieces of shit that have done this to us and other people. We are all done with this. We are not going to just stand by anymore and just say, oh, it's okay. You need to open your eyes. Why haven't we been helped? Why haven't we been rescued? Not taken to Afghanistan and put in a holding cell until things get better, but which actually is just another concentration camp. Right? There's a difference between working to pay your way to be protected, but I would never sign up with that shit. That's bullshit. How does that make it any better? That's passing the buck and not making things any better. President Biden, we are hoping that you will do the right thing. Even if you were slightly involved with it, I highly doubt you did anything as wrong as all these other people did to me or other people. If you help us, that is the only way, if you have done something wrong, that you can save your ass. So I'd like to know what's going on. Did we hit this on the nail? We've done enough work. This bullshit. Oh, okay, now let's talk about the military. Oh, okay, now you're gonna talk about this. Oh, okay, I'm not interested. If there's something foul that has happened, you know what? We have enough evidence to bring to Congress right now. Us alone. Why you ask Britney Spears? Hey, I'm sorry if she's suffering, but you ask her, but we contacted you. And we've been asking for more help. Seems like she's doing pretty good now. Gee, that's a miraculous thing all of a sudden, don't you think? We ain't doing so good. We still need help. Gee, why do you think we are in our positions? Because somebody did this to us. So I really think you guys gotta cut the shit. Even if our apartment's no longer poisoned, well, the rest of the world is, and we still have evidence of the poisoning. In our apartments, in our bodies, in our environment, it's still happening. Guys, you're not gonna get away with it. Stop giving all these motherfucking people money who shouldn't have it. We should get it. Other people like us should get it. We worked hard for a very long time. We deserve to have this. That is what our unemployment tax money and all this shit went into, for the rainy day bullshit that happened. Remember, we did not choose to shut down our American anything. We didn't petition for it. We asked for help. We didn't want everything shut down. Fine, close the borders. I totally get it. But all the businesses and everything, that didn't do shit except ruin everybody's lives and the middle class. So it looks like this was done to purposely destroy the middle class. With this as the facade, COVID, or take advantage of it, whatever the fuck it is. Some people say it's a biological virus, and you know our opinions, and we're allowed to have them legally, and we shouldn't and can't be banned for it, or disciplined, or censored, or anything. It's real, but the definition is, how about toxic particulate matter in the form of dust and vapor and other things, and it's being dispensed in various ways. Planes, trains, automobiles, people, pedestrians on hankies, and dropping this here and there. Think we covered it pretty quickly. Oh wow, that didn't take long to explain. 10 seconds? It's been done throughout time for a long time, and it's still being done. Okay, so we figured it out pretty quickly. There's nothing more. If there's more, we can have other people say, hey, look, this is what's wrong with our military. Okay, good. You guys do that. We are fine. We've taken enough credit for our own shit that we've done and all this stuff that's related to what we like to do. Now, you guys can come when we all go to Congress, the good guys, and say, look, this is what's going on, dissertation, I present my stuff, and then you say, oh, well, you know what, that's also connected because look at the military's doing this. And they set up this, and that's part of how they were eavesdropping on her and stalking her with the planes and the FAA, right? Am I guessing? Am I guessing good? Right?
Pretty much.
So, that's not my area. I'm a dancer, and I've already gone into other areas that I know about. This, my knowledge with that, limited, and I'm done. You guys can bring the rest out when we present this to Congress and throw the book at the bad people who did all this shit. Not just to us, but a lot, and more to us than most people. That's enough. Keeping it going this long, hoping we die in the process so then you can stop it, we're not going to die. We're not going anywhere because we keep adapting and we keep finding more ways to save our asses. So no. We have done it all. We have done enough. And we now have more shit against all you bad guys. Do we not? You're not gonna win. You're not gonna fare well. So give it up already and leave us the fuck alone. You help us or you're going down. There's no two ways about it. Stop sending people in to poison us. Just stop. I'm really getting fucking goddamn tired of this. I've seen a lot of stunts portrayed in things that presidents have done. I'm like, oh really? Why are you using our horror from our real lives or ideas that we talked about? Like I said, oh, I would just rip that up. And then I see somebody ripping something up behind one of our presidents. I'm like, oh, somebody planted that on that person. Because now they're drug into this mess saying, oh, we got that over you. But you know what, for something like that, really, just say fuck it and help us. Is that why you guys didn't help? But we said y'all were snakes. Said you all were snakes. Snakes, snakes, snakes. So I think you all are. I know how to get rid of snakes. Legally speaking. Guys, okay? That's my opinion with that whole thing. That's not going to save your ass. It won't protect your ass. It won't make your ass better or worse. Having a family is your right. Making a decision, right or wrong, is your right. You made wrong decisions, then you're going to have to pay for those wrong decisions. So you better figure out how you're going to kiss my ass and get on our team and our side and fix things and help us fix things. Not make matters worse. We helped petition for people who were going to lose, being protected and being evicted. And it really didn't do anything for us per se, but why don't you guys help us so it doesn't get worse for us? I find it interesting that all of these insurance companies are all of a sudden saying, we're not going to cover you anymore, right?
Yeah.
Blue Cross Blue Shield, let's see, a lot of them aren't. And that's wrong to do, because this whole thing is just getting started in a sense. Because look at your sky. We're all being poisoned. So I don't know, but it just seems to me that everyone's shown their true colors. And we have been consistent throughout this whole thing. We've not wavered. And this is what we mean, and this is what we're doing. And you see it to be true. You all are still playing games with us and doing this hint dropping thing, and it's not going to be brushed under the rug. We won't let it happen. And other people who are helping us and who do love us, they're not going to let it happen either. And you know what? Tough shit if I have a bad opinion of you behind the scenes. Maybe I wasn't wrong. I'm allowed to, and you're allowed to have an opinion about me behind the scenes too. But I'm not eavesdropping in on you, recording your shit, and then dispensing and dispersing it to other people. That's a crime. If I said, make sure so-and-so gets this, that's okay. If I don't say that, don't do it. Especially if you're stealing from me. Especially if you're harming me. You know, why listen in and eavesdrop on everything we do, and then it amounts to no help for us? Then you're just doing it to do something bad to me and my son then. So no. You're going to have to understand no means no. You're going to have to start behaving like mature adults. And mature adults don't do this illegal shit to each other. Really, if you're mature, you're not going to commit a crime. If you commit a crime, you're immature. And a criminal. And some of you may deserve the harshest sentence possible. I don't know. We're going to see. If anything happens to me, though, that's it. The world is over instantly. If anything happens to my son, and that's why we're still alive, we didn't trust anybody. So we set it up this way to hold everybody in checks and balances. I don't play chess, but I'm pretty fucking good at it. I couldn't tell you what move is this move or that move. I just see things. That's why I'm good at choreography. So, Super Alice. I know some of you want to have fun with it and do that, but you know, enough with the analogies. People are dying and we're getting hurt. It's not fun anymore. It never has been. I'm just a dancer and an artist in everything I do. My life and living it is art. I take photographs. I have fun, you know, even when I'm suffering, because I figure I might as well make the best of a horrible situation and document it in a fun way. So I did. And there's been copycats and knockoffs and shit like that, but, you know, I'm still the original of what I do. And I really had hoped better of all you guys. There, see? Red. It depends. See how different it looks? Dark, light, different light. You know? We may be pleasantly surprised who we thought were evil assholes were probably the best people, and vice versa. And then some people we nailed right, you know, as far as your personality and your ethics. So, what's taking your father so long?
I don't know. He said he was cleaning up now.
Cleaning up. So anyway, guys, you know, that's something that needs to be looked at. You know, if you have, well, look here. If anybody in my family is saying, if you help me, we're gonna come forward and do this, well, let them. Because I'm not suffering anymore. Because if I'm right, that would mean that some people in my family did worse to me. And I'm not having it. It also means people that aren't blood family are behaving more like blood family to me. And that's amazing. And I'm very happy and honored by that. And I just want to be able to have the relationships I want to have. And I don't want to have relationships that I don't want to have. In other words, a lot of the people that I ended up having relationships with were just put in my life on purpose to keep me from learning about shit. And I don't want those people in my life when this is over. You know, for now, yeah, fine, whatever. But no more. They lost, you know. Once you start hurting me and lying, and these people stole things from me. They stole things from me that may or may not have had any monetary value, but it was still mine. Why should that be taken from me? It shouldn't have. I'm just getting tired of things being stolen from me. I'm tired of people giving somebody our apartment key. We've had to get these things changed 1,000,000 times over now. Just stop. Why does anybody have the right to have access to our SUV and fuck up the electrical? Because we have 50 million people listening. I'm exaggerating, hyperbole. You're siphoning energy off of our vehicle and endangering us. Just fucking leave us alone and stop sabotaging our vehicle already. I do know how these things work remotely. I can't do something like that physically and make that happen, but I do understand the concept, and it's not like new. It's been done before. So how about you fucking leave me alone and leave our property alone? Sorry, but I feel bad for you if you have a family and you did wrong to me, but I didn't ask you to do wrong to me. I don't even probably know you that well. That was a choice you made. And it's still kind of freaking me out a little bit, you know? No judge is gonna say, oh, it's okay, you have a family. So that should mean that we should all want to stop queues so nobody feels like they're forced to have to do a crime against an innocent person to survive and feed their family. We had to suffer and struggle, guys. And I guess everybody chose their path of how they were going to deal with Q, or whatever the fuck it's called. If you didn't choose well and wisely, that's not my fault. That's all I've got to say about this right now. But I might add, I still love you guys, but really you need to stop treating me badly. President Biden, VP Harris, please, if you guys are good people, do the right thing. Rescue us and help us in the legitimate sense. Don't put us in Afghanistan or another country. Take us to DC. You actually have the power to say, you know what, they don't have their passports, but we already know they're them. They have all this other identification. They're mine, okay? Really. In a circumstance like this, you can do that. If anybody objects to that in Congress, you probably just want to slap the handcuffs on them right away, because they're probably bad people who don't want us to come forward. So, you know, there's that. Okay. We're going to upload this. Bye.